Another thing that people will be very skeptical of is when you talk to them about the singularity. And that's Ray Kurzweil's idea that humans are going to merge with machines and technology, that sort of thing. This article, Superhumans, Supercities, Supercomputers, the U.S. intelligence community's vision of 2030. Now, things, according to the article, are about to get a little weird. According to the National Intelligence Council, which is a U.S.-based coalition of spy agencies, they've released predictions for what's in store for the Earth in 2030. The NIC released on Monday Global Trends 2030 Alternative Worlds, a 140-page report that brings together the best brains within the intelligence sector to find out what we might expect a few decades down the road. Now, here's what they say. They think that people, for example, may choose to enhance their physical selves as they do with cosmetic surgery today in 2030. And they predict at which point the replacement limb technology is expected to be prevalent. They also talk about brain-machine interfaces. Brain-machine interfaces could provide superhuman abilities, enhancing strength and speed, as well as providing functions not previously available. And some of those functions just might be hacking you into some kind of a matrix control grid. Well, the next domain of warfare is the human brain. That's right, they've added yet another area of warfare. Not content with the land, the sea, and the air, they added space, cyberspace, and now the brain, inner space, I guess you could call it. In this article, it says it's been fashionable in military circles to talk about cyberspace as a fifth domain for warfare. But this brain attack is about involuntarily penetrating, shaping, and coercing the mind in the ultimate realization of Clausewitz's definition of war, and that is to compel an adversary to submit to one's will. The most powerful way to do this is the brain-computer interface, BCI technologies. They even have an acronym for it. How long before we harness the power of mind control, weaponized drones? The new battle space is not just about influencing hearts and minds, it's about involuntarily penetrating and coercing the mind. The article says we need to prevent BCIs from being disrupted or manipulated, and we need to safeguard against the ability of an enemy to hack an individual's brain. Now, this is exactly what MK Ultra, Blackbird, Operation Artichoke, all these different things that they were doing in the 1950s and 60s with the CIA, that was the purpose of these programs. At that time, they wanted to make sure that people could not retrieve information from their agents, but they also wanted to be able to control the enemy's minds or to control the minds of patsies who would do their will. And this is exactly what we were talking about last week when we talked about after the murder of Frank Olson. Now 60 years after that, his family has filed a lawsuit against the government to try to get more information about that. And at the same time, we see things like the shooting in Aurora, Colorado that have all the hallmarks of these types of operations. People look at you, and I'm sure if you've talked to people about this, you get kind of wild, wide-eyed looks from people when you talk to them about mind control. Well, this is something that was really going on and has been researched for 60 years, and it's at the point now where they're openly talking about it in many different ways. Here's another place where they're talking about it. Why the only secure password is the one you don't even know that you know. In Stanford, they have developed a computer program that can implant passwords in a person's subconscious mind and retrieve them subconsciously as well. The technique can make it impossible for, say, a high-security government agent to reveal his password. The agent wouldn't actually even know the secret code. Now, these kinds of attacks, what they're worried about, they have all kinds of cyber security and cyber analysis to prevent hacking of systems. But the one thing that they are worried about is what they call the rubber hose cryptoanalysis, which is basically a fancy way of just saying they're going to beat it out of you. Now, to keep that from happening, they want to make sure that people don't actually know that they know these codes. And what they've demonstrated is that they can implant subliminally passwords into people and then retrieve those passwords by having them play a game. As you see there on the screen, it's a sequence of typing characters, and it's not just the characters that they type, but the timing and the spacing of when they type those characters. So basically, they plant that into your subconscious so that you're able to repeat actions and do things. Yeah, kind of like the Aurora, Colorado shooter. Now, this is also something that's gone back to, again, it's the same thing that we saw with Operation Blackbird, Operation Artichoke, that sort of thing. We have a daily quote from Jim Morrison. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. Oh, that's true, isn't it? They can tell us that it's a good thing to have mind control, I guess, once they start doing it. I don't think I'm going to believe that.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.